Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
Another day, another Disney reboot announced.
Yes.
I mean, this is almost daily, I think. And this time they're coming for the Flight of the Navigator. I mean, we are scraping the bottom of the effing barrel.
No, I liked Flight of the Navigator.
I liked it too, but it was, let's be honest, it was like a D-list Disney movie. It wasn't, you know, very popular as I went to the theater to go see it with my friend when I was a kid. I remember going to see it, and we were like the only kids in the theater. Like nobody else.
Oh, okay. No one else was there, not just everybody else was adults.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's like we're the only people. Our group was the only group.
There is something to this, no.
In the theater, right? It wasn't very popular. It did get a lot of mileage on Disney Channel.
Oh my gosh, yes, constantly.
But it was not a very popular movie. But now they're going to reboot that, and of course, because it's current year, it's Disney, and they've got their diversity and inclusion mandates. It's going to be a gender-swapped version of the story. So
I'm sure we're gonna see some differences.
I think we will. They better get the Sukalos from Ancient Aliens in there.
To say aliens?
It's aliens.
All I was thinking of, they're not gonna get away with oink oink, too many Twinkies.
Oh my God. Can't fat shame people in 2021. So we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about the life of the actor as Joey Kramer after Flight of the Navigator. Didn't go very well for him, but it looks like he's on the road to recovery. We'll talk about that. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, over 235,000 subs. Thank you so much for the support. And this was kind of a precursor to Captain Rex, I think, in Star Tours, because you know, Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman. You know, he was Max, and I had to think about it because I'm like, yeah,
I know. I read the article. I remember what it was.
It's been like 25 years.
It was David.
David and Max. I knew David. I had to remember
And David was the Navigator, hence Flight of the Navigator.
Right. And very shiny ship, and they used CGI. It was one of the first movies I think they used CGI.
I liked it when I was a kid.
Oh no,
I was a kid, but I liked it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in like 25 years.
You know what I remember? It was so weird. We went to Disney around the time this movie came out, and I remember we were at the counter for check-in, or my parents were trying to see where they could switch to an upgraded room or something. I forget, but I remember they had a big stand-up for Flight of the Navigator right there, and I remember that sticks in my mind for whatever reason because I'm a dork.
Hollywood Studios, they used to always promote movies that nobody would watch. Nutcracker, I remember in the Four Realms had a big painting in Hollywood Studios.
Speaking of Hollywood Studios, when they had the backlot tour before they took all that out, they had the ship from Flight of the Navigator. I have a photo of it at home.
Oh yeah, you told me that. They actually had the prop.
I should go find it. If I could find it, you should add it into the video. But I don't know. I'll have to see if I have it, where it is. I have my photo album. I think it's in there.
Okay, we'll see. Anyway, you wrote the story earlier today. Bryce Dallas Howard is going to direct it. It is going to gender swap the lead, because of course it is. They're not going to do a movie with a young male lead.
Of course not.
Anymore. Current year. Can't do that.
Well, I just think it's getting so lazy that all these, it's not just Disney. I mean, I pretty much just let it fly on this. I didn't care. It's not just Disney. Hollywood in general. It's like, let's take something popular and then we're going to change, we're going to race swap, gender swap something in it. Because we have to. Instead of just giving people characters that are new characters, fresh characters, new stories that are current year. No. We got to take stuff that's, old and recycle it. You're worth recycling.
Well, I mean, it's like everything. I mean, they're just everything. Just assume. I mean, we said this before. Just assume if Hollywood is going to reboot something from the 80s or 90s, even, it's going to be quote unquote problematic. And now we're going to rewrite your version with this brand new version, which is going to age badly. And then in 5 years, we have to reboot it.
Well,
again.
Apparently they've been trying to reboot this for a while, and it hasn't been just Disney. Okay, so Flight of the Navigator came out in 1986. And if you haven't seen it, it was spoilers. Then slap yourself for wanting spoilers. It was this kid, and he was from 1978, and he disappeared in the woods, and he shows back up in 1986, and everybody aged except for him. Basically, he couldn't be taken back. They normally take him back to the point of time they took him from, but they were afraid it'd be too dangerous for him.
Because humans are very fragile.
Right. So they didn't take him back. And when he came back, they all wanted to do experiments on him and all this other crap. So he ends up, long and short of it, he does get back to his own time and he gets home after he goes on this really weird adventure with this Max the alien. or whatever it is. Isn't it an alien? It's like
he's a robot.
A robot
like
thing. Yeah, he's like an alien robot. Yeah.
He's
Raelian.
A Raelian?
He's a puppet. He goes on a tour with a puppet.
There are lots of puppets.
And that was the movie. Anyway, so apparently, okay, this was not a Disney film.
Yeah, that was, I forgot that. I mean, I do, in hindsight, I think remember seeing like other logos on top of the Disney one. But yeah, you said it's the people who did the Neverending Story.
Right. And it was their movie and Disney just distributed it. So back in like 2009, Lionsgate beat Disney to the rights for it and they were going to reboot it. Then they didn't reboot it and now it's gone back to Disney. And now Disney's going to reboot it and it's going to be Bryce Dallas Howard.
I mean, it could be worse. Worse choices. I think she did
a good job with The Mandalorian when she did the episodes.
I mean, the episodes she did were actually.
She's a ginger, so I'm going to support her. But I'm just like, I am so damn tired of, let's bring this back, but we're going to change. I mean, first of all, don't bring it back at all. It's been done. This is not one people are clamoring for.
No.
A lot of this stuff, people just want new things. They don't want it all over again.
Where the hell is that Gus reboot I've been asking for?
Gus.
For 35 years, Disney.
That's beautiful.
$1 Million Duck Part 2. That's all we want.
That they did that darn cat reboot. Christina Ricci and stuff.
I remember that. Yeah.
Cat from Outer Space.
Cat from Outer Space. Yeah, I know.
You can race bend that cat. Now it's a dog.
Now it's a dog. I know that they used to always reboot Disney movies on like The Wonderful World of Disney. Yeah, they would just do like a really bad remake of like a 60s movie or something, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Well, the Shaggy Dog and stuff they did. What they do Shaggy? Yeah, they did the Shaggy Dog again and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just getting tired of it. You know, it's just getting old. But all that aside, you were going to tell people the tragic story of.
Yeah, we're going to tell people the tragic story of yet another Disney child star.
Yeah, don't let your friends do Hollywood. Don't do Hollywood, kids. Because they'll surely do you.
Don't let them do Disney either. Because it seems like Disney has more problems. Child stars have more problems that work for Disney than any other studio. I mean, it just could be because people are like, oh, the squeaky clean image. But like, there are a lot of stars.
Go nuts.
Shia LaBeouf. I'm just saying.
I was gonna say, I think it was Selena Gomez. She was the one that new show on the new movie for Hulu or whatever. Yeah. And she had made some comment about being acting for Disney and it wasn't that flattering. I can't remember exactly what it was. And then she had turned around like a couple days later and walked that back. I'm sure she got Hulu's owned by Disney, so I'm sure she got calls.
I'm sure she did. I'm sure Mickey made a couple of calls.
Yeah, they have the majority stake in Hulu, so
yes.
But I'm like, so even if you try to warn people, you have to walk it back.
Well, I don't know if Joey Kramer, pissed off Disney or what, but he didn't have much of an acting career.
He said he decided to stop acting afterwards for a while. He wanted to be a regular kid.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand.
Or something bad might have happened in Hollywood because nothing ever bad happens in Hollywood.
Well, that was like
the kids, especially.
The kid, yeah, right. The kid that was in Cocoon and Daryl and Neverending Story. I was thinking about that because we're talking about Neverending Story. Barrett Oliver, I think is. Yeah. He was in like every movie for like 2 years and then he disappeared. And I saw pictures of him. He turned up later and he's like an author or something. But he is completely unrecognizable. He's got this like really scraggly graying beard and he looks like Alan Moore.
Like because he grew up?
Because he grew up and
don't let your kids do Hollywood.
Looks pretty pissed off. This kid didn't age terribly well either, but...
Yeah, he was on hard drugs, apparently.
He was on drugs. So we're going to talk about that. He was arrested. He robbed a bank in Canada. Apparently, they have bank robbers in Canada. I didn't know that. Kramer, most famous for his leading role in Flight of the Navigator, was arrested on May 1st of 2016, following the robbery on the Scotia Bank in Schlett?
I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. I apologize to anybody who lives there, because I don't know how to say that.
Sachet.
But,
I'm not Canadian. I can't speak Canadian, okay?
Yeah, and honestly, people say where we're from. They're like, how the hell do you pronounce that?
Yeah, right.
So anyway,
so it turned out that he was homeless and on drugs. And he robbed a bank to save his life. And now there's a documentary called Life After the Navigator. And this came out last year, but that's crazy. In 2016, he was homeless, suicidal, and hopelessly hooked on hard drugs, wearing a flimsy disguise, probably a Mickey Mouse mask.
That'd be funny if it was. Oh my God.
He robbed a bank, fleeing with a wad of cash. He was arrested 3 days later. No, he wore a mask of Corey Feldman. It was his way of forcing himself to get help. He's 47 as of last year. He's clean after going to prison. He's relaunching his acting career. And he's sharing his story in a documentary called Life After the Navigator and hoping to help others facing similar issues.
Which sadly happens a lot with these child stars. It just does.
Yeah, so they're talking about how it made $18 million, which in 1986 is probably like $30 million today or something. It really wasn't that popular in the theater.
Yeah, well,
really
to be fair, current year, they're bragging about that amount of money. So if it
Probably
made like $50 million now, that's a hit.
It was the only movie that opened that weekend, but it was the biggest hit. It was number one at the box office. It was pretty incredible. Spaceship in the Imagination, the script was amazing. Never can tell how successful something is going to be. I was just doing my job and having fun. I think he was some other stuff too. I think he's in some Wonderful World of Disney stuff. He had to spend months away from home. He got into acting for fun, and then it just wasn't fun.
It was lonely.
He made one more film, Stone Fox. Never heard of it. Before taking a break, just wanted to be a normal kid, have fun, skateboard, and all that '80s kid stuff.
Aww. But once you went back to school, you didn't fit in. I know what that's like.
He didn't fit in.
Trust me, I never fit in either.
He was teased because he was the movie star kid. So
that's called jealousy.
This happened. This happened to Jake Lloyd too. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is very similar to what happened to Jake Lloyd, and I felt bad for him because you had people on one hand being like, "Man, Anakin sucked in The Phantom Menace," but then he'd go back to school and they're like, "Who do you think you are? You're like a movie star. We hate you."
Yeah, so it's a very real problem. And they said he fit in with the kids that smoked and drank and did weed, so that's where he kind of,
Whoa, he got into coke at 14.
Well, I mean, he's probably he probably didn't feel like he belonged anywhere, and people weren't very nice to him, and
By 18, he was doing crack. Wow.
He had been taught how to. Okay, wow, yeah.
Anyway, and then he moved to Mexico, and he quit drugs and stayed clean for 10 years. And in his 30s, he fell off the wagon. And that happens. There are people who, they get clean, and it is a never-ending struggle.
It is.
Whether it's alcohol or drugs or whatever. I mean, I've known people in my life that, they're clean for years, and then something happens, and they fall off the wagon.
Well, in 2011, his girlfriend introduced him to heroin.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So but hey, he got out of it, and he's trying to help other people.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
So there's a good thing. But now you can be forgotten, so they can replace him with a woman in the new show. Sorry.
They should at least give him a cameo after all he's been through.
Yeah, Disney, at least give him that. Really.
Give him a cameo. I mean, they did that with the Witch Mountain, the cast when they rebooted Witch Mountain with The Rock. They had most of the original cast. They had them in the movie and cameos.
Yeah. He had a daughter, and they were going to have her. They were going to adopt her.
Oh.
When he was told his daughter was going to be adopted, he had self-destruct. He thought he had no recourse, so he went off the rails.
Oh, see, that's usually what happens. Usually, there's some traumatic event, and it triggers, the.
So and this kind of stuff happens. And sadly, this story is very common for Hollywood kids. Yeah. You hear this often. I mean, it happens to a lot of kids, but you hear about Hollywood kids a lot. So anyway, but back to the point, which is Disney's going to resurrect this movie and make it a girly film.
Yeah, there we go. It's a girly film.
That ship would be flown right if it was flown by a woman. Would it fit a woman? If it was flown by a woman.
Oh my God, they're totally gonna do that. They're gonna have the girls gonna lecture Max.
All I'm thinking is when he was saying, "I get around," they hear the Beach Boys.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah. Oh, the cringe is coming back. I remember. I haven't seen this movie in so long. We have it on DVD, but I don't think we tried to get the kids to watch it, and they weren't interested. So
it doesn't age well.
No, it does not age well. It doesn't. But I don't think this is one anybody was really clamoring for a reboot of. But there you go, guys.
Oh, that's right. I remember too. They call him Navigator because he has all the maps in his head.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that. Like something happened to the ship and it lost all its maps, and he has them all stored in his head.
After what he's been through, I don't think he's got all the
No, so that's why we need a girl.
Yeah.
Because they never forget anything.
This is true.
You should have seen his face. Oh my God, I wish we were on camera. When I said that, the look on his face was like, so true, but how do I answer that without getting hit?
Do you remember that one time 11 years ago? It was a Tuesday afternoon. It was raining, and you were wearing that blue shirt that you don't wear anymore because it got the mustard stain on it. Do you remember that? No. Well, I do.
It's true. I remember everything.
I do. And here's what you said. And I'm like, honey, I love you, but I don't remember what I said yesterday, let alone 11 years ago on a
A lot of you guys out there have wives like that. You're like, yep. So that's why it has to be a girl. It makes more sense. It's more accurate. They won't forget, and they won't, and they'll stop and ask for directions.
I was gonna say that. No, now she's just gonna bust out the GPS and be like. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yep.
Another movie nobody asked for. Hollywood doesn't care.
But we all kind of laugh.
Yeah.
Well, and send good thoughts to
Joey Kramer.
Yes.
Joey Kramer, God bless you, sir.
Hope you get a cameo. You deserve it.
You deserve a cameo.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.